What's crack-a-lackin', Big Smackin'? My name is Empor, help me spell backwards, and welcome back to another video where today I'm going to commit the cardinal sin of giving my opinion on Call of Duty Zombies. You see, I think there's a reason why the games have gotten worse, and I do think they have gotten worse over time. I think they've gotten way too easy, I think they've gotten way too accessible. If FromSoft from Dark Souls had made a game like Elden Ring, but it was incredibly more accessible to the point where anybody's grandmother could play it half blind, I think there'd be a lot of backlash. And I think it'd be a similar thing than what's going on with COD Zombies. COD Zombies has kind of gotten less skillful over time. And I think genuinely that the reason the games have gotten worse is because Activision has no competition. And I don't mean a COD Zombies killer or a Call of Duty killer. I hate that term because whenever you call something the Call of Duty killer of any kind, it immediately devalues that game and compares it to Call of Duty. And it immediately makes that game less likely to succeed. Look at X-Defiant, look at Dead Drop, look at Scare Ritual. All games that have fallen off the wagon only a year or so after launch. And I love Scare Ritual, and I do think that it does still have a loyal following, unlike stuff like X-Defiant and Dead Drop, which X-Defiant does still have somewhat of a group of people that still like it, but ultimately the game ended up dying, and Dead Drop didn't even get to actually come out. So no, I am not talking about a Call of Duty killer, as I think that's an unhealthy and really counterproductive way to look at a video game. But whenever we talk about Call of Duty Zombies getting worse over time, I want you to think about one thing, and that is the fact that yes, the games have been getting worse or easier in my opinion, but at the same time, round-based survival for Call of Duty Zombies is not just Call of Duty Zombies. It's an entire genre of video games that really has been led by the king, Call of Duty, for so long now that Call of Duty Zombies is really the only thing that pops into your mind whenever you think of round-based survival nowadays. Aside from the occasional Scare Ritual or Killing Floor 3 that's about to come out, there really isn't a whole lot of competition for Call of Duty Zombies. Scare Ritual seemed a bit promising whenever it first came out, but ultimately the player base has died off quite a bit. And then there's always Killing Floor, but it plays very differently. And while yes, it is round-based or wave-based survival, it's not exactly the same appeal and doesn't give the same feeling that COD Zombies does, which actually I think is a good thing. I do think that there should be more creativity with how round-based survival is handled, but I just think it's about time that round-based survival starts expanding. I'm about to ask you a question, and I want you to genuinely think about the answer. Take a moment to reach into the back of your mind and think about the answer as much as you can. And whenever you do, comment down below your answer, because I also just kind of want some new games to play. But along with that, I want to know the answer. I'm genuinely curious. How many round-based survival games have you played in your life? And how many of those have been Call of Duty Zombies? How many can you actually name off the top of your head that aren't Call of Duty Zombies? If the answer is less than 10, I think there's a bit of an issue. Hell, even if it's less than 5, that's a massive issue. I remember there being a mode in the Halo games where you could fight off hordes of aliens. That's pretty cool. Scare Ritual is out, but it's relatively recent, and also a small indie game by 5 people, not really a AAA title. Killing Floor is out, but also somewhat of a smaller game and more of a niche community in the round-based survival, and also only has 3 games, with the third one not even out yet. It comes out in March. And no, I'm not talking about horde-based survival. Horde-based survival is a different thing. I'm talking about specifically round-based or wave-based gameplay. I would like to just genuinely know how many come to your mind, because I'm willing to bet it actually is less than 10 games. Call of Duty Zombies has had a bit of a monopoly over round-based survival for a long time, and sure, there are a lot of horde shooters, and there are a lot of round-based survival games that have probably come out in indie ways, like recently Hellbreach Vegas came out last year, and, you know, Scare Ritual, and Killing Floor 3 comes out soon, as I've mentioned, but ultimately, there's not a whole lot of games that are actually good in the round-based survival game space, other than Call of Duty Zombies, and unfortunately they're getting worse too, and I genuinely think it's because nobody has given them any competition. Don't get me wrong, Scare Ritual is a good step forward, and I think Killing Floor also has a bit of a niche community, but neither game is really big enough to challenge that of Call of Duty Zombies. Games like Dark Souls stay popular, and they also stay having competition. Dark Souls has literally created an entire subgenre of games that are trying to compete with it and cash in on that Dark Souls money, and I genuinely think that COD Zombies needs something similar. Imagine if games like Remnant 2 didn't exist. Imagine if games like Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order didn't exist. Sorry, that's considered a Souls-like. I don't really know how, but that's getting sidetracked now. I genuinely believe the games would be worse off. If there were nothing like Dark Souls in the gaming industry, and then Dark Souls came out, I genuinely think the games for Dark Souls would be worse off. The Soulsborne games would not be as good. And hey man, maybe they would be. Maybe they would. I don't know. But at the end of the day, it would still cause a monopoly over a certain genre of gaming, and that's kind of an issue. Competition is healthy in business. Competition is healthy in sports. Competition is healthy in gaming. Having other games that are similar to your game that give actual competition and life to it inspires you to make better games to get more sales. And I would love to see more games act as if COD Zombies does within the round-based survival community. Give it more competition, more than just Skill Ritual, more than just Killing Floor. Have other games be coming out, AAA games. I would love to see that happen. And while I'm aware that this would take years and also plenty of companies actually wanting to do it, I also firmly believe it's a good idea. And if games like Dark Souls can get an entire genre built around them like Souls-likes, or Rogue can get roguelikes, then I genuinely think COD Zombies has a good enough formula as a round-based survival game to get its own subgenre of round-based survival. I think there needs to be more round-based survival games. Hell, give me some Zombies-likes. I genuinely would be intrigued to see how those go, because Skill Ritual is not the only one that you can do. There are so many ideas out there that you can throw around. Just look at the custom zombie scene in Black Ops 3. That is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. There's more creativity in that than there is in the round-based survival genre as a whole, I would argue. I would love to see what other AAA studios and other indie studios could come up with round-based survival. I would love to see more than just COD Zombies or games made by a couple people. And look, nothing against Killing Floor and Skill Ritual. I think those are both amazing games for different reasons, but I would just love to see more variety. I think the creativity that could shine if we had more developers in this space would be so amazing for the content, for the gaming industry, and for the genre as a whole. And along with this, I also just think it'd be a good idea to give Call of Duty Zombies some competition. If Call of Duty Zombies had competition and there were other games outselling Call of Duty for the zombies scene specifically, I do think Activision would wake up and start making different decisions, and Treyarch might get a little bit more time to work on their games, and we might get better maps. And if we don't, hey, we have a bunch of new round-based survival games that we could work on and play on, and it would be a great time. And what's really funny about Skill Ritual coming out last year in 2024 is that you had really up until that point no games like Call of Duty Zombies, no games similar enough to where it might pose an actual threat. And while Skill Ritual doesn't pose a threat to Zombies, Zombies is going to do good every year, and it is its own game and it does well. My point is the same, that there was no real games that were similar enough to COD Zombies that COD Zombies fans would really love it. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's Killing Floor, and Killing Floor is amazing, but Killing Floor at the end of the day is very different in the way it plays. And then there's Hellbreach Vegas that came out last year, and it's great, but again, it's very different in the way it plays, and it's made by a smaller team, yet again. I genuinely think that if Call of Duty had more games that were bigger and more popular, it would start to get worried when it comes to the zombie scene, at least. And the reason I say this is because look at what Palworld did to Nintendo last year. Nintendo is suing Palworld, and regardless of your opinion on that one way or the other, my point is that Palworld made big enough waves to actually scare Nintendo on the prices, otherwise they wouldn't have sued them. Competition is good for any industry, any business, and any game, and any genre. I genuinely believe that if we had more developers that cared enough, and more creative teams behind Call of Duty Zombies style games, or behind round-based survival games, we could get more than just COD Zombies, but we can get good games in general. The thing about COD Zombies community and the fan base is we're all hoping for COD Zombies to be back to the way it used to be. But ultimately, I just want a good game. I just want a good round-based survival game, and I'm at a point now where I don't think it has to be zombies anymore. I want Activision to get some competition. I want Treyarch to have a reason to make the games better, because if they don't sell as well, because now there's other options, and I do want those other options to be a possibility. I'm at a point in my life now where I don't just want to see COD Zombies. I think COD Zombies lays the groundwork for such a unique and creative way to tell stories. And I would love to see more developers and more creative people work on it. Don't get me wrong, I still want COD Zombies to be better, but I think that more games in the space would actually increase the quality of not only round-based survival as a whole genre, but of Call of Duty Zombies, as I think Call of Duty Zombies with real competition would genuinely get better. And I genuinely do believe that. I believe that with good competition, Treyarch and Activision would be forced to either make a good game or not get the purchase. And I would love to see more games with equal quality and equal viewership and equal marketing. But until that day happens, I fear that the round-based survival genre is not going to get too much better. But let me know what you guys think. How many round-based zombies games do you guys play? How many round-based survival games do you guys play? Do you guys think that the genre is ever going to grow and ever going to get more people involved? Do you think that Call of Duty Zombies will remain on top dog forever? Or do you think that there's going to be a game to come around and get it? Do you think COD Zombies is going to get better, going to get worse? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm genuinely curious, but that's it for this video. I just want to talk about it because it's a topic that I find very interesting and I'm very passionate about. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video, next stream, and in the next map. Peace out.